This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Friday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. Here's what's making headlines on this May 15th. Walmart is helping step up coronavirus testing efforts by offering sites right here in central Indiana. We're working for you with a look at the guidelines and the locations so you can get tested. For the first time in nearly 2 months, the Fashion Mall at Keystone at the Crossing opening its doors this morning. What you need to know if you plan on going shopping. And while people are home during this pandemic, it is important to stay active and healthy. We'll show you how participating in Tour de Cure can do just that and also raise awareness for diabetes. But before we get to our top stories, we need to get a check of our Storm Team 6 forecast. Todd Clausen is joining me from home. It's a Storm Team 6 alert day, Todd, as we have some storms to our west.
Yeah, you know, these storms are going to roll in here this morning, Lauren. Yesterday, they came in during the afternoon hours. It's going to be very similar, where we'll have some heavy rainfall, maybe a little bit of lightning, but not anticipating much in the way of severe weather, at least throughout the morning hours. There will be the opportunity later on this afternoon for a few isolated strong to severe storms. A live look at Storm Team 6 radar showing already some heavy downpours making their way into the Lafayette area, and even a few lightning strikes there just north of Lafayette as you make your way up I-65 towards the Monticello and Rensselaer area. So it's a wet morning for you there in Tippecanoe County, up into White County as well. But we'll pan out and you can see the line of storms that is out there, and it's off to our west. Now, the strongest part of the storm, and there's a severe thunderstorm watch, is down here along the St. Louis area. That's going to move to our south, so we'll probably avoid that. That is the good news. But look for this rain to overspread the area with some heavier downpours throughout the morning hours. And then once we get to the afternoon, it'll push off towards the east, and we'll get a little bit of a break from the steadier rainfall, but still some spotty storms into the afternoon hours, Lauren, with temperatures in the low to mid 70s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads at this hour. Here's a look up in the dog leg on the northwest side, I-465 at I-865. We did have a stalled semi in this area just a bit earlier. It has moved. Everything is open and traveling up to speed, as you can see. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads around the metro area, and right now I can tell you no new crashes to report. Today, 6 new COVID-19 testing sites at Walmart locations are opening across central Indiana. They are operating on limited hours. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning from one of those locations with more details. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So we are at the Walmart on Keystone Avenue, where in just a few hours, a new testing location will open up. Now, they are going to run Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7 to 9 a.m., and you do need an appointment. The sites are supported by Walmart, eTruth North, and state and local officials. This testing site is for people who meet CDC guidelines on who needs to be tested. That includes first responders, healthcare providers, people with symptoms of COVID-19, and those who are in high-risk groups without symptoms. Those interested in being tested need to visit doineedacovid19test.com to see if eligible for testing and to make an appointment. Those being tested must wear a mask and stay in their cars. And for the safety of everyone, no walk-up appointments are allowed. Once you are registered, you will administer your own nasal swab while a medical volunteer watches to make sure you do it correctly. Now, there are 3 Indianapolis locations. There's one in Greenwood, one in Canby, and one in Paoli. For more information on how to register for this event, this testing, and where you can go, visit theindychannel.com. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
All right, Kelsey, thank you so much. We want to get to the latest on COVID-19. The State Department of Health is reporting more than 160,000 Hoosiers have been tested for COVID-19 so far. More than 26,000 of those people have tested positive. In the latest report, the state confirmed 634 new positive cases and 26 new deaths. A total of 1,508 people have died from the virus in our state. After being closed for nearly 2.5 months, the Fashion Mall at Keystone at the Crossing is set to open its doors this morning. Once the mall reopens, there will be several new measures aimed at keeping you safe. Social distancing dividers and markers will be placed throughout the mall. Occupancy in stores and dining areas will also be monitored. Children's play areas, drinking fountains, and strollers will still be out of service. Employees will be required to wear masks. Customers are encouraged to wear them as well. Free masks and sanitation wipes will be available at the mall entrances. Employees at 2 of Central Indiana's auto plants will return to work Monday. General Motors plant in Kokomo and the Subaru facility in Lafayette are set to resume production. According to GM, all employees will go through safety protocols, including hand sanitizing, wearing a face covering, safety glasses, and having a temperature scan. The Kokomo plant has still been working during the shutdown to build those ventilators for hospitals. Excuse me. As many businesses slowly reopen, other groups like fitness facilities are still waiting. For personal trainer and gym owner Mike Ford, it's been a long 3 months, but he's finding other ways to get by. He started meeting with his clients one-on-one at a park to maintain social distancing. It's a temporary solution, but he says Indianapolis gym has been completely sanitized and allows only small groups of people so that customers can feel safe when returning when it's time.
Don't want to be around that many different people coughing and, just their sweat, picking up something that was already wet, So I think by being in a smaller setting like this, it's just you and your trainer. So the risk is very minimal.
Under Governor Eric Holcomb's plan, gyms are scheduled to reopen at half capacity on May 24th. It's not clear when gyms can open in Marion County. Gleaners Food Bank's mission is to help people make ends meet. It's especially important during the pandemic. Now the organization will be able to deliver more fresh and healthy foods to people in need. The nonprofit group, the Conservation Fund, has awarded Gleaners a grant to improve its ability to store and transport fruits, vegetables, dairy, and other perishable foods. Leaders say with many people relying on Gleaners as their only source of food, providing healthy options is critical.
Our distribution volumes are up more than twice of what they were before the COVID crisis. Some of our distribution points, including ours here on site today, are receiving 4 or 5 times the number of people that need food assistance. So we need to be able to continue to source good food, healthy food, nutritious food for them and get it to them as effectively as we can.
Gleaners officials say the money will help finance things like mobile markets and refrigeration units. Many people have become used to more sedentary lifestyles due to working from home and so many business and restaurant closures. So American Diabetes Association wants you to commit to adding activity to your day by setting a goal. Our Alyssa Donovan joins us now with all the details. Hey, Alyssa.
The Indiana Tour de Cure is just 3 weeks away, and now is the perfect time to sign up to run, walk, or bike ride the event.
I recommend during the pandemic registering for a race because that gives you something to work towards and look forward to, and it helps you keep yourself accountable if you're having a hard time finding the motivation to work out.
Corey Migrant, a fitness, nutrition, and wellness coordinator, has been preparing to run the event. She says it's not too late for you to get ready.
A training plan should have cross-train days, so strength training is really important, not only to build strength, but it helps you be a faster and more efficient runner.
1 in 10 people have diabetes and 1 in 3 people are pre-diabetic. The American Diabetes Association is concerned that more people will come out of the pandemic with some type of blood sugar disorder due to all of the time they're spending being sedentary, which is why setting a goal now to participate in a race like Tour de Cure is so important.
Exercising is one of the top ways to lower your blood sugar.
And the Tour de Cure is virtual this year, so participants can create their own routes within their neighborhoods to ensure they're keeping safe social distancing. All of the money raised from the event goes towards diabetes research and local programming. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Okay, thank you so much there, Alyssa. There'll be an opportunity to get out and about and ride your bike here at some point throughout the day today. It's probably a little better chance later on this afternoon and into the evening hours than it will be here this morning. As you take a look at our rain chances throughout the course of the day today, you can see they're highest here this morning into the early afternoon, and then they'll slowly start to drop off as we work our way into the evening hours. Already some rain in Lafayette. In fact, some heavy downpours in the Lafayette area with even a few lightning strikes getting picked up on Storm Team 6 radar as well, but the main line of storms is still off to our west in Illinois, and this is what is going to start to make its way into our area later on this afternoon. It's going to be very similar to yesterday in the sense that there'll be some heavier downpours. There'll be a little bit of lightning mixed in, but not anticipating the severe weather this morning. The good news is it remains mild today despite the clouds and these rain chances. Highs today will be in the low to mid 70s, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. much. The CDC releasing new guidelines on reopening the country. Coming up, the measures they say need to be taken to make sure that states don't see a surge in cases. And arrest warrants are out for 2 NFL players. Still ahead, the pros allegedly involved in a Florida armed robbery. It's 5:10. We'll be right back.
2020 new tonight on ABC.
It's 5:13. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issuing new federal guidelines for the reopening of the country. ABC's Inez de la Cotera is in Washington now with the latest.
Overnight, the CDC releasing new guidelines, providing the most specific guidance yet from the federal government on how to safely reopen, recommending schools and camps stagger drop-offs and limit how often kids mix into groups, adding restaurants can reopen as long as they can encourage social distancing and offer flexible leave among employees. The guidance released after weeks of delay and after a top government scientist warned Congress about the dangers of reopening too quickly.
The window is closing to address this pandemic because we still do not have a standard, centralized, coordinated plan to take our nation through this response. But time is running out because the virus is still spreading everywhere.
At least 45 states have already eased restrictions in some way. Georgia and Florida showing little to no surge in cases after their partial reopening. Parts of upstate New York reopening today, while stay-at-home orders in New York City and other parts hit the hardest are once again being extended now until mid-June. In Wisconsin, people flocking to bars and restaurants hours after the state Supreme Court overturned the governor's stay-at-home order. The president calling it a win.
I also think that we should all be able to decide if we want to go out or not.
But experience crowds or unsafe conditions that make you feel uncomfortable, you should go home. The virus hasn't changed, and neither has the science.
New Jersey announcing the Jersey Shore will open in time for Memorial Day, but with restrictions. Today, the House will vote on another multi-trillion-dollar stimulus package meant to help state and local governments. Republicans have declared it dead on arrival. Inez de la Cotera, ABC News, Washington.
Here at 5:15, paper stimulus checks to Social Security beneficiaries start going out today. Recipients with direct deposits started getting theirs late last week. The recipients should receive their payment the same way they received their SSI payment. This is for those who are considered low income, are blind or disabled, and can't work. Starbucks wants a break on rent. The coffee company's COO sent a letter to the landlords of stores all across the country recently asking for a break on rent for a year starting June 1st. He says COVID-19 restrictions have battered sales. The demand comes one day after the company announced it would reopen 90% of its stores across the country by early June. The letter asks landlords to, quote, adapt to new realities as the restaurant industry is anticipated to take a big hit for another 3 months. Advertising has been changing during the pandemic. Companies have replaced ads in recent weeks to reflect social distancing guidelines. But advertising experts say if advertisers want to present a realistic look at what our world is like today, they should show more people wearing masks. It can also help normalize them.
It's kind of this whole advertisers communicating that they are part of a larger community. They're part of the community we live in and have day-to-day interactions with, but they're also part of this larger community of people fighting this disease.
Sheehan says another thing that will normalize masks is if people can show their affiliation with them or the brand they like. Disney, the NFL, and others have actually created their own. It is 5:16 right now, and it's finally Friday. Let's toss things over to Todd for what our forecast looks like today. Hey, Todd.
Yeah, Lauren, we're ending the work week on a mild note. That's the good news. Temperatures are in the 70s. The bad news is, once again, as you can see on Storm Team 6 radar behind me, is that we are dealing with wet conditions once again across parts of the area. Now, most of the area currently is dry. However, as we work our way up here into the Lafayette area, that's where we find some heavier downpours and some lightning strikes right now making its way through the Tippecanoe area and mainly north of Lafayette, but pushing towards Brookston. Delphi Delphi, you're up next to see some of these lightning strikes. The storm is not severe. That is the good news as it moves off towards the north and to the northeast. Back off to our west, you notice another line of storms approaching the Champaign area, and this line of storms extends all the way down through St. Louis into Arkansas, and this is going to drop through central Indiana. Now, the strongest part of this line of storms is actually down here near the St. Louis area. There's some severe thunderstorm watches posted across that part of the country. We, however, will not probably deal with severe weather here this morning, but we will deal with some heavier rainfall and the potential for some lightning here and there across the area. So don't be shocked if you hear some thunder as these storms start to move in. But the heaviest of the rain probably approaches the metro area as we head into the 8, 9, 10 o'clock hour. And then it'll continue to make its way off towards the east through mid-morning. And then once we get to the afternoon hours, everything becomes a little more spotty in nature. That's the good news in the sense that we won't have that widespread rain. So some of you will be able to get out and about. The bad news is as we get into the afternoon and evening and we start to get some of these individual storms compared to the line of storms, and that's when we'll have the potential for maybe an isolated strong to severe storm. So it'll be briefly cooler when the rain goes through. And then just like yesterday, as soon as the rain came to an end, temperatures pop back up into the mid-70s. Parts of the area in the green there under the marginal risk for severe weather. The main threat today would be the potential for high winds, and then the secondary threat would actually be flooding today compared to large hail. There is that marginal risk that's in effect. Temperatures right now are sitting in the 60s and 70s, so it's a mild start to the day. We really didn't cool off overnight. And then throughout the day today, we're looking at temperatures that will be topping off in the low to mid 70s. I would say on average between 70 to 75 degrees, depending if you see the rain or if you do not. 78 on Saturday. Saturday, if you want to think back to yesterday, is very similar. So Saturday is like yesterday. Sunday is like today, where the storms are a little more numerous. But there will be dry hours both days, especially Saturday. I think there'll be some long periods of dry weather throughout the day on Saturday. It might not be the brightest day with a lot of sunshine, but you will be able to get out and about and enjoy that high of 78 degrees. A little cooler Monday and Tuesday, Lauren, with a stray shower a possibility with that cooler air, but nothing major. And then partly cloudy Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures back up into the low to mid 70s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. This is I-65, a view here near West Street and MLK. So as you're heading into the downtown area, you can see your drive is smooth sailing there on the interstate. We'll continue to keep a close eye out for any delays that might slow you down this Friday. Southwest Airlines has a tempting offer for those just itching to travel again. The company is offering a one-way fare starting at $49. The promotion comes as airlines struggle to fill seats during the coronavirus pandemic. Southwest's announcement says it covers travel between May 26th through August 31st. It will also double frequent flyer points during that time. The sale narrowly avoids the busy Memorial Day and Labor Day travel times. This weekend, the U.S. Space Force is scheduled to take its first trip to the stars. A secret space plane from the new department is scheduled to launch Saturday morning if the weather holds up. The ship is on a secret mission, but we do know that it's carrying a satellite built by cadets with the Air Force Academy. It's all in an effort to demonstrate technologies in space. The Space Force says the mission has been, quote, deemed critical to perform during this pandemic. Okay. Florida police have issued arrest warrants for 2 NFL players, Quentin Dunbar, a cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks, and DeAndre Baker, a cornerback for the New York Giants. They're wanted for their roles in an alleged armed robbery. This incident happened at a house party on Wednesday night. Police say several victims allege Baker and Dunbar stole thousands of dollars in cash from them while armed with weapons. Neither Baker or Dunbar are in custody. The NFL, the Seahawks, and the Giants all say they are aware of the situation and they have no further comment at this time. In the NBA, Wilson is taking over for Spalding as the official basketball manufacturer. Wilson isn't new to basketball. Wilson basketballs were used during the 2019 NCAA tournament. The company also makes the league's basketballs from 1946 through 1983. Bringing back Wilson coincides with the league's 75th anniversary season. Now Wilson, along with the NBA and its players, are going to team up to develop and improve the new basketball. In an effort to honor graduating seniors during the pandemic, one high school is taking their ceremony to the mountains. After the break, New Hampshire school plans to use ski lifts. We'll be right back.
a U.S. warehouse.
Well, high schools across the country are getting creative with socially distant graduation ceremonies. In New Hampshire, one school is hitting the slopes. Kennett High School is planning to do their graduation using ski lifts. Students will receive 4 tickets and a designated time to board the chairlifts at the base of Cranmore Mountain. To keep everyone safe, there will be an empty chair between each group.
Right up, they'll get their diploma. They'll get a picture getting their diploma on top of a mountain. They'll go to another spot, which we will have set up stage with a second photographer. And they'll get a picture with pretty amazing backdrop.
There will be plans for students who do not want to ride a chairlift, or if there's rain. Traditional speeches and awards will be live streamed the night before. I love that idea, Todd. People getting really creative, but hey, you can't beat a graduation picture with the mountains in the background, so I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You know, the mountains always make everything a little more scenic. That is for sure, Lauren. All right, this morning we're dealing with some rainfall here across central Indiana. It's starting to make its way into the Lafayette area with some heavier downpours, and this is just the start of what's going to be a fairly wet morning for us. You can see from Lafayette to the Monticello to the Delphi area, some lightning strikes mixed in here as well. All this is moving off towards the north and towards the northeast. So Logansport, Deer Creek, Rossville, you're up next for some heavier rainfall. The main line of storms still stretches from Chicago to Champaign to St. Louis. That will arrive by about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the metro area, and then continue to push off towards the east. Temperatures today, Lauren, they will be topping off in the mid-70s.
All right, Todd, thank you. The SBA and Treasury Department are issuing new guidelines on the Paycheck Protection Program. Just ahead on Good Morning Indiana, what businesses need to know about the new changes. We'll be right back.
Show today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
This morning, 6 additional coronavirus testing sites are preparing to open across Indiana today. Now at 5:30, where they are and what you need to know before you go. And COVID-19 is hurting Hoosier families far beyond food and money. This morning, we'll introduce you to an organization desperately in needing donations to help new moms. The time right now is 5:30, though. I want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen working from home again this Friday. And Todd, what can we expect in our Friday forecast?
You know, we have rain heading our way, very similar to yesterday. There'll be some dry hours to get out there and enjoy the mild temperatures, Lauren, but at times it is going to be fairly wet. Speaking of wet, it's wet right now up in the Lafayette area as we're dealing with some heavier downpours making their way through the area. We also have some lightning strikes as well, getting picked up by Storm Team 6 radar just south of Lafayette there, over towards Delphi and Monticello as well. We are dealing with these heavier downpours. These are sliding off towards the east and northeast here throughout the course of the next 45 minutes. We will track them for you, and they'll begin heading over towards Logansport here as we head to about 5:53 this morning, closer to 6 o'clock, about 5:45 in the Rossville area. So be aware of that if you live up in that neck of the woods. Otherwise, the main line of storms is still back off to our west, but this will move into the western portion of Indiana by about 7 a.m. I would think by 8 o'clock it's approaching the metro area, 9 o'clock as well, with some pockets of heavier rainfall and some lightning mixed in, but probably not much in the way of a severe weather threat throughout the morning hours. Once again this afternoon, though, we do ramp up the chance of seeing a possible strong to maybe severe thunderstorm across the area. The afternoon's a little drier than this morning with temperatures, Lauren, that'll eventually be topping off anywhere from 70 to 75 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now. If you're heading out the door early this Friday, heading to work maybe, here's a look on I-69 near 106th Street. Fishers, good morning to you. Traffic is moving along up to speed, northbound and southbound, no delays to slow you down. All right, let's take a look at how COVID-19 continues to impact Hoosier families. This morning, state health officials confirming 634 new cases of the virus. Since the pandemic started, more than 26,000 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with the virus. The Department of Health also reports 26 new deaths. So far, 1,508 people in Indiana have died from COVID-19. Today, 6 new COVID-19 testing sites at Walmart locations across central Indiana will open. They are operating on limited hours. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning in front of one of those locations with more details. Kelsey, good morning, and where are you at this morning?
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So we are at the Walmart just off of Keystone Avenue, and this is, again, one of those 6 new testing sites that is going to take place at Walmart. They're going to happen Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7 to 9 a.m. And you, of course, do need an appointment because it is such a short window of time. So these sites are supported by Walmart, eTruth North, and state and local officials. This testing site is for people who meet CDC guidelines on who needs to be tested. That includes first responders, healthcare providers, people with symptoms of COVID-19, and those in high-risk groups without symptoms. Those interested in being tested do need to visit a website. It's doineedacovid19test.com. That's where you can see if you're eligible for testing and to make an appointment. Those being tested must wear a mask and stay in their cars for the safety of everyone. No walk-up appointments are allowed. Once you are registered, you will administer your own nasal swab while a medical volunteer watches to make sure you do it correctly. Now, there are 6 locations. 3 of them are in Indianapolis, 1 in Greenwood, 1 in Canby, and 1 in Paoli. For more information, head over to theindychannel.com. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
All right, Kelsey, thank you so much. The U.S. House of Representatives is expected to vote on another coronavirus relief bill today. It's worth about $3 trillion, and it includes another round of direct payments to Americans. It would also increase dependent payments to $1,200 each and include dependents left out of the first round. The proposal also extends the boost in unemployment benefits until the end of the year. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has said he is in no rush to pass another stimulus bill until the effects of the CARES Act has been determined. We're also continuing to track the latest on Indiana's unemployment system to make sure that it's working for you as it should. First, an update on the unemployment claims filed in our state. Thursday, the Labor Department announced more than 30,000 Hoosiers filed for unemployment benefits last week. The department also revised the previous week's number, decreasing it slightly to just over 42,000 people who filed for unemployment. In 8 weeks since the businesses started cutting back, more than 650,000 Hoosiers have filed for unemployment. This morning, some people who filed for benefits back in March are still waiting on a response. A spokesperson says the Department of Workforce Development has hired an additional 160 people to work in its call center and tripled the number of claims investigators. There's also a video with information on error messages you may receive on the department's website. You can find all of that on a link on the RTV6 app. Meanwhile, businesses now have more time to return their rescue loans to the government if they want to without a penalty. The Treasury Department said that Small Business Administration extended the deadline to May 18th. The change will mostly affect larger businesses who got money through the program early on. The SBA also says business owners who borrowed less than $2 million from the PPP likely won't face an audit. The coronavirus pandemic has led to a decline in donations beyond just food and money. The Rebound Indiana is connecting you with ways you can step up and help other Hoosiers in need. One item that's making a huge difference for families is breast milk. The milk contains antibodies to help babies fight viruses and bacteria. That's why the Milk Bank is hosting a milk drive to help babies who need the milk the most. We spoke to one mom who gave birth to her youngest 6 weeks ago. She was making more than enough breast milk, so she decided to donate some.
I am a pediatric nurse, and I've seen firsthand what the donated milk can do for those vulnerable babies that we care for. When you know that you're helping someone else, it just feels really good, and especially right now with everything going on.
Because of the pandemic, donors will have minimal contact with staff members. Donors wait in their cars until they're called in, and everything is sanitized before and after to keep things as safe as possible. The milk drive is this Monday, May 18th from 10 to 1 at Hancock Health Gateway Services in Greenfield. For more information on how you can pre-register, just go to theindychannel.com and click on this story. There's also a big need for donations of diapers and other items for babies who are born behind bars. The Indiana Women's Prison is home to Officer Brian Leith Memorial Maternal Child Health Unit. The program is for pregnant offenders who have short sentences. Leaders say donations have slowed dramatically during the pandemic, so they put out a call for help, and the community has come through in a big way.
We're just so incredibly thankful that in the midst of such a trying time, when everyone feels so stressed and just so hassled by everything that's going on, to see people really give of themselves and of their time and their energies for someone else is really touching.
The program was recently named after fallen IMPD officer Breanne Leith, who was shot and killed in the line of duty last month. She also served as a correctional officer in the nursery. The unit still needs donations, so for more information on how you can help, you can go to theindychannel.com and just click on this story. An IMPD officer has been suspended and reassigned for comments that he made after the shooting death of Drajon Reed. The comment was recorded on Reed's Facebook Live. In the video, a detective can be heard saying, quote, "I think it's going to be a closed casket, homie," after the shooting. We're told the officer and the officer who shot Reed are both African American. IMPD Chief Randall Taylor tells us the comments were, quote, "unacceptable," but did not give more specifics on the disciplinary actions. For safety reasons, neither officers involved are being identified. The American Diabetes Association's annual Tour de Cure is just 3 weeks away, and it's not too late for you to register and train to participate. Our Alyssa Donovan has all the details.
Spending so much time at home during the pandemic may have impacted your motivation to eat healthy and work out. Well, now is your chance to set a goal to keep yourself motivated and accountable. The virtual Tour de Cure is on June 6th. Participants can walk, run, or bike the event and create their own course to safely social distance. 1 in 10 people have diabetes and 1 in 3 people are pre-diabetic. The American Diabetes Association is concerned that more people will come out of the pandemic with some type of blood sugar disorder due to all of the time they're spending being sedentary, which is why setting a goal now to participate in a race like Tour de Cure is so important. Corey Migrant, a fitness, nutrition, and wellness coordinator, has been preparing to run the event. She says it's not too late for you to get ready.
A training plan should have cross-train days. So strength training is really important, not only to build strength, but it helps you be a faster and more efficient runner.
All of the money raised from Tour de Cure goes to local programming and diabetes research. If you'd like to register and participate, you can go to our website, theindychannel.com. We have a link for you there. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. The time now is 5:39. We're dealing with some spotty showers out there right now here across central Indiana, but they'll become more widespread as the morning goes on. So you're definitely going to have to check the radar before you head out for maybe a walk, a bike ride here this morning. Take a look at the satellite radar picture, and you can see the big picture shows the main line of storms is still off in Illinois, but we are dealing with some isolated downpours here in the Lafayette area, some lightning mixed in there as well, but nothing severe. The heaviest of that rain has just pushed through Lafayette and continues to make its way off towards the east and northeast. So rain chances are pretty high today, especially this morning. They'll go down a little bit tomorrow, where we get into more of just some spotty storms similar to yesterday, or a brief period of rain compared to numerous storms across the area. Then on Sunday, we are looking at high chances of rain before we start to slowly clear out throughout the day on Monday. With the less rain chance in the forecast on Monday also comes some cooler temperatures. We'll talk all about it coming up in your 7-day planning forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. This morning, there are new developments surrounding the deadly Fulton school bus crash. Just ahead this morning on Good Morning Indiana, why Alyssa Shepard's attorneys say the state didn't file enough evidence. Plus, planning a trip to Holiday World, I should say. We're working for you, breaking down the changes park officials want you to know about. It's 5:41. We'll be right back.
This is the benefit of blue.
Welcome back. It is 5:44. It is time to look at headlines from all around the Hoosier State. So this morning, police in western Indiana are looking for more information about the location of a wanted Terre Haute man. The Terre Haute Police Department says the U.S. Marshals Task Force is searching for Jack Tanner. Tanner is wanted for 2 counts of domestic battery in the presence of a child, 2 counts of domestic battery, and auto theft. If you know where Tanner is, you can call or text the Marshals Service at 812-230-0295. A southern Indiana man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend and eating parts of her body is heading to a state mental hospital. Joseph Oberhansley was found incompetent to stand trial back in January. Now the Clark County Sheriff's Office is ordering Oberhansley to Logansport State Mental Health Hospital by Monday morning. The order had been delayed 2 months due to the coronavirus pandemic. Oberhansley is charged with stabbing and killing 46-year-old Tammy Jo Blanton at her home in Jeffersonville in September 2014. This morning, an appeal says the the state didn't provide enough evidence against a driver in a deadly 2018 Fulton County bus crash. The appeal argues the state didn't prove Alyssa Shepard acted recklessly as opposed to negligently. A Fulton County jury convicted Shepard of 3 counts of reckless homicide along with other charges. A judge sentenced her to 4 years in prison. The crash killed 6-year-old twin brothers and a 9-year-old sister. A 4th child was seriously injured in that crash. And this morning we're learning more information surrounding a popular Southern Indiana theme park's reopening. Holiday World says they plan to reopen on June 17th at 50% capacity. Tickets will be purchased online for specific dates and guests must have them prior to getting into the park. As part of the plan, the park plans to open Holiday World first. Splash and Safari will then open at a later date, but officials say the plan is to have the water park open by July 4th. Guests are also asked to bring in an inline reservation system that will notify you 15 minutes before you can board a ride. It is 5:46 here on our Friday. We want to toss things over to Todd and see what we can expect for our Friday forecast, and Todd also look ahead to the weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a little wet at times, not only today, Lauren, but into the weekend as well. With that said, there will be some dry hours mixed in at times each one of these days. So that is the good news as we go forward in this forecast. Outside right now, we are dealing with a little bit of rain making its way through northern portions of central Indiana. Where it is raining, it is coming down quite heavy, and that is just now to the east of Lafayette, from Delphi to Rossville to Deer Creek, up towards Logansport, and eventually this is going to be heading towards the Peru area as well as we make our way into, I would say, the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. You can see as we track it off towards the Peru area. It should be arriving in your area as we work our way about quarter past the next half hour in Galveston as well as Peru at 6:19. The big picture shows, as we look at the satellite radar picture, the line of storms from Chicago down through Kankakee into Champaign. The strongest storms are pushing towards Effingham, Illinois, and so we're going to avoid those, but this rain will make its way into our area during the course of the morning hours as we work our way, I would say, anytime after 7 o'clock, first in some western locations, and then eventually as we work our way into the metro area, we're probably looking at the rain increasing by about 8, 9 o'clock. With it, you can expect some heavier downpours, some lightning mixed in here, but we probably avoid the severe threat throughout the course of the day today. And then once we get to the afternoon hours, it's just some spotty storms. But honestly, those spotty storms will have the potential to be a little bit stronger. And then the line of storms coming through just based upon the timing and the daytime heating. And that's why the Storm Prediction Center does have a good chunk of the area that you see there in green under the marginal risk for severe weather. What you can expect is some gusty winds, maybe a little bit of small hail with some of those individual storms, but that is just about it. Of course, we had quite a bit of rainfall yesterday in spots, so there could be some localized flooding as well. Temperatures this morning are sitting in the 60s and 70s. It's a mild start to our day going forward in this forecast. As you look at the next 12 hours, temperature is probably going to be between about 70 and 75 degrees today, just depending on where you are. And it's all going to have to do with how quick you get rid of the rain and how quick your temperatures rebound with the dry conditions. Your weekend, Saturday, 78 degrees, just a chance of some scattered storms. Sunday, a little wetter like today when a front comes through, and we'll have numerous showers and storms on Sunday with a high of 75. A little cooler for Monday and Tuesday, and then warmer temperatures with sunshine. Lauren, work back in for Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this Friday. This is I-65 near US 52 all the way up in Lebanon. Good morning to you. Traffic is moving along smoothly, as you can see, starting to pick up a little bit, both northbound and southbound. We'll keep you updated on any crashes or delays.
My first concern was, am I essential? And when I would ask several different people, they're like, heck yeah, you're bringing me joy.
We all scream for ice cream. A Central Indiana shop helping customers adjust to this new normal by providing a familiar treat. It's 5:50. That story and more after the break.
6 working together, working for you.
Welcome back. So ice cream socials aren't quite the same in this time of social distancing, but RTV6's Brad Brown shows us that's not stopping a popular shop in Fortville from serving up scoops, shakes, and sundaes.
On most occasions, ice cream just tastes better outside.
People love ice cream. I love ice cream, and it's been fun to come up with like different themed shakes, and the creativity behind it I really enjoy.
At Libby's in downtown Fortville, they're getting the scoop on sidewalk service.
It's been crazy. Like every day it was a different thing. So furniture was moving, walls got painted, we did some upgrades, but is the door open? Is the door closed? Just every day unknowing, and everybody asking us what we were going to do and not knowing what we were going to do.
With a spot right in the middle of Fortville's Main Street, Libby's Ice Cream and Gifts has become a gathering spot for young and old alike.
People would come in and sit, and we became family because we talk. Now we didn't have that. They would call on the phone. So we learned to stand 6 feet away and talk through the windows or talk with a crack in the window. And we just changed. We morphed. We made it work.
Curbside and outside service has been a big adjustment, but Libby's crew continues mixing up the same tasty shakes, cones, and more.
My first concern was, am I essential? And when I would ask several different people, they're like, heck yeah, you're bringing me joy. And so that made me feel better.
And there's no shortage of fun with this group. How about some dino delivery? Libby's T-Rex has been helping get ice cream to local merchants and drive-up customers. A good dose of smiles with those Sundays.
It's wacky, but it makes people laugh. It's been a great experience to realize that I'm in a village that is really here to support us.
Working for you in Fortville, Brad Brown, RTV6.
Brad, thank you. Just this week, Libby's reopened for carryout service. The shop is still offering curbside pickup as well. That looks pretty good. All right, as you're heading out, maybe grabbing some ice cream or figuring out what you want to do this weekend, Todd, people may need to dodge a few rain showers.
Yeah, I'd always have the umbrella with you if you're going to be out and about. Not so much carrying it around the entire time, Lauren, but if you're driving around, maybe to pick up some groceries, I would just have the umbrella in the car just in case you get one of these downpours moving through. Speaking of downpours, some heavy ones right now up towards the Delphi, Rossville area, Logansport, just north of Kokomo. These are heading towards Peru, so you'll have to deal with those and then back off to our west. You notice more of a line of storms, and that is going to be dropping here towards central Indiana throughout the course of this morning. So I would expect some rain in western portions of the state by 7 o'clock, and then eventually here in the metro area as we get closer to the 8 and 9 o'clock hour. And then eventually we'll see that band of rain move off towards the east, and we will start to get into drier weather later on this afternoon. We'll never get rid of the rain chances here throughout the course of the day today, but they become more spotty as we do get into the afternoon hours with high temperatures today. That'll be in the 70s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. The pandemic has made their clippers sit still. All new at 6 o'clock. We'll show you how one group of stylists are still serving their community. We'll be right back.